Hello, welcome or welcome back to week 25, I believe. I may be wrong on that, of 2023. Happy Monday. So I ended up not filming my opening clip this weekend. I feel like there was a lot going on and my to-do list was freaking long. But I only got like a third of it done. But what I got was like bigger projects. It may look like I have more boxes behind me. And technically that's true. But because I have emptied out quite a few boxes in my craft room and done some organizing in there. So I have added some empty boxes, but because those were crafts that I had with me and were in the storage unit, if I have to transfer things into boxes instead of plastic bins, I want to use the ones that are in nicer condition that are only like a few months old, not years old. So it may look worse, but I feel like that's how it usually goes. It looks worse, but it's actually better. So yeah, let's just kind of get into it. So first things first, let's do the quest calendar, and then I have a couple things to unbox, and then we will talk about books. So if this is your first time here, I have been playing the quest calendar created by Sundial Games. This is a daily calendar with Saturdays and Sundays combined. That is a tabletop role-playing game. Essentially, it is D20 base, so think Dungeons and Dragons, Pathfinder, D20 modern systems similar to that. And the theme this year, as you can see, is the Void Spark Chronicles. This is sci-fi space opera set, so think Star Wars, Firefly, Battlestar Galactica, you know the drill. I do play with the Hero's Companion book. I think it is definitely worth to get like the deluxe edition. I have Sundial Games linked down below. Typically the last few years they have run a Kickstarter, usually around the month of March, but the one for 2024 has not gone up yet, so I don't know if that's still the plan. But when it's live, I will make an announcement and share it and all of that. But I enjoy it a lot. I highly recommend getting this booklet because they have made some changes from 2022 to 2023. So in it, if you do one of their pre-made characters, it has all of the base statistics already leveled up, which is super nice because that makes leveling up a lot quicker. You just have to transfer a few stats over. And then they also added these reusable stickers for like ship upgrades and equipment that you can have your character wearing, and that's super duper fun. And then because we are set on a ship, so here is our ship sheet. So we are on the Karnak, which is super fun. And then I have been playing as Zarilla Tur. So that is her right there. She is an Urzen and her class is a Mystic. So she's kind of like the Force user. And it's kind of hard to see her, but she's a little shadowy. If you do see movement and stuff going on, I do have storm chasing going on. That's up in Montana today. So that's, this time of year, even though the storm chasing season is kind of coming to a close and we're kind of through our moisture hit and things are starting to get like hot. Today was 90 degrees and already I'm over it. I'm ready for September. But anyway, if you notice changes going on in my lighting, it is because that is on in the background and just kind of playing. So let's do a quick rundown of what the game looks like if you are new here. And if you are not, I'm sorry. I do this every beginning of every video, but you know, just in case you're somebody new, I like to just kind of throw it out here. So here is where we left off on Friday. This is a combat-based page. So usually every page has this script type font. This is the story that I will read out. If it is a combat page, we will have this table here that tells us either how many creatures, how many rounds, and that sort of thing, and the types of rolls we might be making. And then if this wasn't a combat page, there'll be like a white or black box with block style font, and that will tell us the mechanics of how we're playing through that day's story. So we have a little bit of catch up to do. We need to do Saturdays and Sundays page, and then today's Monday. So we left a derelict lab that had some sort of genetic experimentation situations happening on it, and after leaving that ship, we have become infected by parasitic creatures. So we are trying to find the parent parasite to destroy them all. So this one was not one of the parents. Oh, and I should mention everything that we need to know for that day's page on like our rolls and results is on the back. And oh my gosh, that is a lot for today. That is a full page. So, okay, looks like there's another type of creature that we're going to have to be dealing with. Before you leave the area, you notice some movement from the corner of your eye. You turn to see one of the creatures is climbing through the vent. The vent leads to the bridge. No, thank you. So we have two options for 1 and 2. So 1 is sneak up on the creature, is 1A. 1B is lure the creature out. 2A is capture the creature, and 2B is kill the creature. So I'm going to go with sneaking up on it versus luring it out, because I feel like that's something that we might be a little bit better at. Oh my gosh. I don't know what just happened. I wonder if that was my cup that I had stacked in the sink, but I emptied my dishes. I did my dishes this morning, so there shouldn't be anything. I hope nothing broke. I don't know what that was. My heart's racing right now. Okay. Although I can hear the people upstairs bouncing around, so I wonder if something was slightly precarious and vibrations through walls caused something. Okay, anyway, we will just continue on, and then I will have to check that. We're sneaking up on the creature. So let me see if we have any more information. It does not look like so. So a dexterity roll, reminder, stealthy. We do not have stealthy, but our dexterity is a +4. So that is a 17 on the die. So that's a D20 roll. So 21. If the result is 15 or more, the parasite is unaware of your approach as you sneak up on it. Gain a +3 bonus to try to capture it, or a +3 bonus to attack and damage if you try to kill the creature. Well, I'm going to go with trying to capture it. So let's see. So that will be a strength, reminder, animal tamer. So our strength is a -2. We do have animal tamer, so those cancel each other out. So we just have our +3 bonus. So let's just do it. And that is a 14, so that's 17 total. All right, 2A, capturing the creature. If the result is 15 or more, you successfully rip the parasite from the vent and capture the creature. Gain 5 credits. Okay. And the only reason I thought to do that is because we were like, that was like what we were kind of forced to do a couple pages ago, to capture them and then sell them for science at a later point. So there's that. And then before we do today's, there is a new mechanic they added on Sundays. It's in this box here, and it doesn't want to focus. But this is called the Sunday Lottery. When you play your weekend page, you have the choice if you would like. I know there was stuff happening out there, huh? You can roll a d6. If you roll a 1 or a 2, you lose a little bit of money, and if you roll a 3 or higher, you gain a little bit of money. So we will go ahead and see what happens, and that is a 2. So we lose 1 credit. So far we are at a gain of +4 credits for that page. And let's just move on. So there's that creature that we captured for science. Hi. Oh my goodness. She's right here, see? I don't know if you can see her tail. Now she's behind me. What are you doing? Let me say hi. Say hi. Say, look at my nice pretty fur. Mommy brushed me this weekend and I cut the kitty claws. Yeah. She's always soft, but she's always super duper soft right after we brush her. Or I brush her. She does kind of brush herself sometimes because she likes to rub her face on the brush. But anyway, we will move on. Okay, so it looks like we have more mapping to do for today's. So it looks like we have a couple little different levels that we will have to work on. You still haven't found the adult shrieker that started this mess. You head to the Fang section of the ship to clear out the rooms there. From the bridge, which is number 5, you can climb down to the kitchen or the captain's office. So begin at the X and navigate around the Fang. Visit each numbered room along your path. Explore and resolve each room you visit before you choose your next. Okay. So here's where we are at. So we are down here on the X. So when we come in, we will be in this first room, it looks like. Yeah, our door is there. So I'm trying to see how we can get to number 3. Okay, so what we'll do is we'll do room 1, number 2, and then number 3. And then we'll take the ladder from room number 2 up to room number 5. And then we'll do 6 and 4. So that'll be the route that we're taking. All right, so let's just get into it. So room number 1. You find one of the parasites rummaging around the kitchen looking for food. It has currently stopped on top of the stove. You could kill it by lighting the stove. Dexterity, reminder, stealthy. So once again, we do not have stealthy, but our dexterity is a +4. And that is another 17, weirdly enough. So 21 total. Okay, if the result is 15 or more, you sneak up and light the stove. It incinerates the creature. Gain 2 credits. Okay, I don't know why we're gaining credits for, like, incinerating it, but all right, I'll allow it. Okay, into room number 2. One of the passengers is fighting off a parasite inside the captain's office. She is pinned against a wall and holding the creature back with a chair. You can't attack it without hurting her. You try to get its attention. Charisma, reminder, animal tamer. So our charisma is a +1. We do have animal tamer, so that makes it a total of +3. So our roll is a 13, so 16 total. The creature turns to attack you instead. Reduce your health by 2. Note that you have saved 1 passenger. Okay, so we are over 5. We are at 6 or 7 passengers, I think. I'll have to check my notes. Okay, then on to room number 3. The door to the captain's quarters is locked and will not open. Dexterity, reminder, locksmith. So we do not have locksmith. Once again, our dexterity is a +4. And that is an 8, so that's 12. If the result is 14 or less, you are unable to get inside. You hope nothing else is in there, but can't do anything about it right now. Okay, I'm okay with that. So then we're in room number 5. You get to the door of the bridge and see the Queen Shrieker is trying to get inside. You may stop exploring now, or you may continue to clear out the other rooms before returning here. We will do so. So then we'll go up to room number 6. You find 3 credits in the storage area. Perhaps someone dropped them in haste. Okay, all right. And then our final room, number 4. One of the passengers has locked themselves into this medical bay. She appears sick and is gripping her abdomen tightly. Oh no. So wisdom roll reminder survivalist. We do have survivalist. Okay, so that gives us a +2 and our wisdom is a +4. So that is a total of +6. Great. Oh, I completely missed my little dice jar here. Or not my jar, my rolling tray. But all right, that was a 10. So 16 total for where are we? Room number 4? All right, so if the result is 15 or more, you apply pressure to the lady's abdomen and the wiggling parasite inside stops moving. Perhaps you crushed it. The lady is alive for now, but needs medical attention. Note that you have saved one passenger. Have we really saved her, though? Okay, so we will add 2 people saved, 2 passengers saved to my notes, and get the extra whatever added in. For doing that. So let's do hopefully quick unboxing. All right. So I did get a couple packages this weekend, but I didn't get out to my mailbox to pick them up, so I checked it on the way home today. So the first one here is, if you are new or you haven't seen me talk about it in a couple of vlogs, I joined at the beginning of the year the Conqueror virtual challenges. These are distance-based, like virtual race type things, but they're more challenges, so you like can do it whenever you want. And it's anything distance, so like walking, running, rowing, swimming, any like physical activity that is distance based. And I took advantage of the deal that they had going on, and I purchased at the time they only had the one Lord of the Rings set. Now there is a second Lord of the Rings that is 3 medals, that is doing like Aragorn's journey, but this one is doing like the main story of Frodo and Sam. So I have officially finished the 4th of the 5 medals for the normal for the normal storyline. So I got my medal, and this one is the Eye of Sauron. So I'm working on the final one. We only have one more left, and that is Mount Doom. But, so I'm excited to see this. So we will see. I haven't opened it yet. My nerdy heart is so happy. So, in here we have just a little parchment paper printed on it that says congratulations. Oh my god, this is so, oh my god, this is so cool. Look at it. Oh my gosh, Sauron is looking at us right now. I cannot believe it. Oh my gosh, this is so cool. So freaking cool. Okay, they usually have fun designs on the back too, so I'm excited. So let me tear this off and see what we, oh, they changed their, it's like a different kind of tack stuff. So it does have some of the film's artwork, or like screenshot, it looks like maybe on the back. So here is a close-up. So we have the Eye of Sauron, Conqueror Challenges. I'll link them down below if you're interested. Lord of the Rings. And then here we've got the Tower of Baladur. And so this is the full, oh my gosh. Look who's on the back of the straps. I was not expecting that. Oh my goodness. Oh, and then it has Elvish. Okay, so let's see the back. Let's see. Oh, look. It's like, oh my gosh, it's the like seeing dish the Galadriel uses. Oh my gosh. And we got the elven leaves. Oh my gosh. That is so cool. And I love it. I love it. It's got a nice little heft to it. I'm going to have to figure out a way to like display these, but oh my gosh, this, ugh, I totally was like, you saw it. I was so surprised to see her on the back. Oh my god, but I just love that. I just kind of want to just wear this as bling and just have the Eye of Sauron on. And just like walk and just live my life repping Sauron, you know? Am I a little too nerdy? I mean, maybe I am. But anyway, okay, we will move on because I can go on and on about this. So I'm super excited. I'll have to dig out my first medal because the first medal comes with a little removable ring. And I do know, because they did say, make sure you have your first medal around when you get your final medal. So I'll have to make sure that it's accessible. Then I have another package, and this is going to be my drinking vessel from Enchanted Fandoms. I will link them down below. It's a bi-monthly subscription. I think with shipping and stuff, it's about, for me, I think it's like $23 or something a month. But I am a big fan of her stuff, and this is specifically, like I said, the drinking vessel. So you get some sort of type of mug, cup, something fun. And I know that this, this month's theme, it is every other month, is Carissa Broadbent's Something in the Serpent, whatever that one is. But it's one of the Carissa Broadbent books, one of her newer ones. So I will pull some. What? There's extras in here. Okay. So this is a hand wash, do not soak. Okay, good to know. Good to know. Hand wash only. I try to do that anyway. Oh my gosh. There's a really cool hollow Enchanted Fandom sticker. That's fun. That's new. And then there's usually a double-sided drink card with recipes. But let's see. Oh my gosh. It's a water bottle. Perfect for this timing. It has a straw. Oh my gosh. And it says Nightborn. Oh, I'm a big fan. I love this like blue gray color. Oh, it is gorgeous. And I love the way that this pops. Yeah, and you can definitely tell that she hand vinyls or whatever this is on it. So I am super excited. For water bottles like this, it does also have a straw. I tend to either do just water, or in this time of year, I'll do tea. If it has something like this that's a little harder to clean, I'll typically just do water in them, and I'll do the ones that are more like open, I guess, and easier to get into all the nooks and crannies. I'll do other things like iced coffee and stuff like that, but I'm super excited to have another water bottle because I don't have enough already. But I'm very, very excited. I will link Enchanted Fandoms down below. I am a big fan of her products and what she does. Oh, let's not forget the drink recipes. So we have Oraya's Daytime Drink. So this has sparkling juice, white grape or appled, a mix of strawberries, blueberries, cherries, and blackberries. That sounds delicious. And then Nightborn Gathering. So this is a medium apple, medium orange, brown sugar, orange juice, brandy, dry Spanish red wine, and ice to chill. That's a lot. So that's a look at the comparison in just text-wise. But, you know, I'm not a big, like, cocktail maker. But, you know, maybe once I can start, like, hosting get-togethers for family and friends again, maybe I'll have to break out some of these. But they're definitely fun to have. And I love that they're all themed about whatever is happening with that month's thing. So, like I said, Enchanted Fandoms will be linked down below. Okay. Now, I also got they don't have their normal stuff. So this is my fortune cookie soap box of the month. This is, if you have not seen me unbox them, a small company based out of Oklahoma that does bath and body products in small batches. Everything's handmade. I might have already said handmade, but I'm a big fan of them. They're monthly subscription. So what they do is every month they have like a big collection that's released with specific scents for that month, and then they usually the last Friday of the month release the full drop of the collection. So when you get their subscription box, that has most of the time one some sort of item for each of the scents in that collection. It's typically 4 to 5 cents, and then every 3 months they have their quarterly box, which will have more. So they have a couple of Facebook groups, and I have no idea what the theme is. I don't get on Facebook anymore, so I have no idea what the theme for the month is going to be. You used to be able to figure out like a month or two ahead, but I don't know. As for pricing, I think it's up to $19.95 a month. I'm still grandfathered into the old pricing. But you also get, when boxes ship, they ship around the 12th of the month. You also get a $10 off of a $25 purchase code that's good for like 30 days. So you can use it on any of the other mini collections or mini events that they might have throughout the month, or use it on the big collection release. So let's just get into it, because oh my gosh, is this? I wonder. Okay, so it looks like the collection is There's No Place I'd Rather Be. That looks like Lilo and Stitch to me. That's exciting. So, as you can see here, extended collection launches June 30th at 2 p.m. Central Standard Time. So, like I said, I'll link Fortune Cookie Soap down below. On the back is all of our scent descriptions, but we will wait to read those. Also, oh my gosh, it's a different shape. They typically have 4 stickers for each collection, and you can get them in a 4-pack, and then every order you place will have a random sticker thrown in. So this one is Ohana, and typically they're script stickers, so they're just a square. So this is completely new that it's a shaped sticker. And you know what? This feels like a vinyl sticker. I wonder if they're changing things up, or maybe this is just something special for this one, but I don't know. Let's see. So usually the tissue paper is also themed with everything. So I'm excited to see what's in here, and we can go. Okay, so this is a normal collection. So we have 4 items in here, 4 scents. So we'll just get right into it. So this is I'm Lost Room Spray. And it's a little shiny, but let's see here. Ooh. Oh yeah, this has like melons. I'm getting pineapple. This is super tropically. I'm getting a hint of florals. Oh, that smells really good. That smells really good. Let me just put it in the air so it can diffuse like it's meant to be, because it's a room spray. Gotta get it going. Ooh. I like that. I'm going to give that 5 stars, because I love that. I love that a lot. I don't think it had, oh, it did have, it just popped off. Okay, let's see what the spray or what the scent is. I'm lost. Remember when you feel all alone and completely lost, there is someone out there that loves you and accepts you for who you are. A blend of melon, lychee, apricot, and sugared pineapple with a floral mix of plumeria, wild hibiscus, and bright freesia. I think I got that pretty spot on. Okay, moving on. We have Pudge the Fish. Oh my gosh, that's a tiny little wax tart. I typically, like, I don't mind their wax at all, but I am very picky at my wax. I tend to make my own wax melts. I just haven't in a little bit, but because I really kind of struggle finding things that are scented enough to last a good, like, what's worth the money to me. So I have struggled with their scent, with their wax, specifically their wax tarts and their little wax melts. I like their scoopable wax though. Those seem to be a high scent percentage. But let's see what this is. Oh, I'm getting like cinnamon right off the bat, a little bit of fruit, something berry. And there's, oh my gosh, this smells like there used to be like a candy shop up when you head up out of Loveland up to Estes Park on Highway 34 called Sunny Jim's. That used to be like a super special place that we would go like once or twice a year, especially around Christmas time. This smells like walking into that shop with all of the like yummy bakery, like warm, cozy scents like cinnamon and that's what this smells like to me, is the Sunny Jim's candy shop. They also have the best freaking trail mix. I really like that. I really like that as well. And it's fun that it's like a layered wax. So I almost wonder if they did different batches and then just did separate pours to let it set up. But that then makes me curious on how well scented each of the layers is going to be. Because some wax, especially when you add colorant, doesn't hold the scent as well as others. But it smells great, whatever it is. So let's see what they officially call it. Pudge the fish. Every Thursday is sandwich day. Pudge controls the weather with a sense of sweet vanilla ice cream, sweet blueberries, and a touch of cinnamon and peanut butter. We can give Pudge an ice cream sandwich, right? It smells good. That's what I know. Okay. So we've got here Experiment 626 Exfoliating Body Wash. So this is just a little mini body wash. I don't know if you can see. It's got like little blue bursts, like dark blue bursts in here. But let's see. sometimes they also call this their lava body wash. Oh, that's very florally. Maybe not florals. It definitely has that like ocean air, salt air scent. But maybe something, it's not florals. It's something like musk or amber or one of those other more deeper manly scents. That's quotes, one-fingered quotes. I don't know. I don't know if I would enjoy that. I prefer my scents a little more. I'm not a big fan of like the super musky or amber or like patchouli type scents unless they're like blended really well with some other brighter scents. That one is not a favorite of mine, that's for sure. So, Experiment 626. This illegal genetic experiment was created to cause chaos and destroy everything it touches. With a mischievous blend of balmy island breeze, red mango, and lychee. I didn't get any fruit in that. Bright citrus. Didn't get that. And rich amber. That's what I smelled. The island breeze and rich amber. But you know, for you, it might be something different. And it's a body wash, so it could also change once it interacts with the chemistry of your skin. But we have one more product left in here. And this one is Ohana. And they're bath bombs. So there's the sticker. And they're cute little bath bombs. Look at those. I mean, these are little, so you'd probably want to do both of them at once. Or mix it with, like if I have a little bath bomb like this, what I'll do is I'll do a touch of just like unscented bubble bath and then some Epsom salt. And then I'll throw in this just for the little bit of fun and a little bit of aromatherapy. But yeah, that's floral. But I'll show you one of them. It is like super bright red pink. Super cute. I like that one. That is a more kind of a delicate blended floral, so that's something that I would be able to handle for sure. And then I'm also getting a touch of fruitiness with it as well. So let's see scent description on that. Ohana. Ohana means family, and family means nobody gets left behind or forgotten. We found this blend of tropical island mango, exotic florals, rich berries, and soothing musk all on our own. It's still good. Still good. I like that one. And see, that one has musk, but I don't really get the musk. That's more there as like a base scent to kind of help give some body to those lighter ones. I'm getting mostly the exotic florals and with like the hint of the fruitiness, but I feel like once it's in a bath, the fruitiness will be a little bit more apparent. But this one I'd probably give 4 out of 5 stars. And then, like I said, the wax tart, 5 out of 5. The room spray, 5 out of 5. And this one's sad to say a 1. I might see if that might be a scent my brother would like and gift that away, even though it's just a tiny little one. But I know they go camping and stuff, so if it's something that him or his girlfriend would enjoy, that would be like a perfect thing that they could take when they're traveling. So we're gonna stop there, because that's all I have to unbox. I don't know why I'm saying that. The other little thing that I have that is a package, and this came today, was my copy of Magic Claims finally showed up at work today. And I'm super excited to read this. I wanted to read it as soon as it arrived, but I don't think I'm going to get to start it tonight, but we shall see. But I am loving the fall vibes. Kern in the background. I am just living, so I cannot wait to read this. And page-wise, it is 224 pages. Nope, 225 pages in my paperback copy. So that is definitely a short novel and not a novella. But you know what? I will take all of the pages and all of the words that Alona Andrews wants to grace us with. So, as for books, I had plans to read quite a bit this weekend, and it didn't quite happen. So, first things first, my last Romanceopoly roll that I did Friday night, I got Sleuth Street, and so I was trying to kind of finagle away to, I had 8 prompts left, I believe, as of Friday night to finish Read the Season. Read the Season ends tomorrow, Tuesday the 20th. So I was like, I want to try to get some audiobooks and some novellas and like try to hit the extreme level of like 76 prompts or something crazy. So I had plans. I didn't quite get to as many as I wanted, but I did pick up Saturday night. There was some storm chasing happening, so I picked up a ebook, and I went with Sink or Swim by Maz Maddox. This is the second book in her Relics series, and this one I had to finagle a little bit because the sleuth prompt is read a thriller or a mystery where one of the main characters are a detective or a private investigator. Now, I don't really, I read romance, so I don't really understand why we have thriller in Romanceopoly, but whatever. So I was kind of fudging it a little bit, and I was like, okay, private detective. And then I was thinking about this, and I was like, well, are they investigators? So then I was doing some research, and technically when artifacts and, art and jewelry and historical pieces are being sold on the black market, a lot of people will hire these private investigation firms. And while they aren't specifically a private investigation firm, they are doing investigating. but they're specifically going to like dinosaur fossils. But I was like, you know what? I asked my Amazon speaker box lady, and I just was like, and maybe I was asking very pointed questions, so I was getting the answers that I wanted, but I feel like it's close enough. Plus, there was a little bit of a suspenseful moment at the end of this, so I was like, I'm just gonna count it. So I gave this 5 stars. It is my favorite of the 2 so far. This is quick rundown because we're already a super long clip, but hi, welcome to my weekly vlogs where my first clip is usually the longest. But oh my gosh, I'm trying to center my thoughts now. This is Baja and Jackson is actually kind of a thief, and he's on the other side, and he works with some of these super rich people that like to illegally collect historical artifacts, and he was kind of put in a situation where he was kind of playing-ish both sides, but he has now kind of joined up with Relic to try to allow them access to join this super secret like cruise where they're going to do these forbidden auctions. And Baja is our Relic team member that gets tasked. He is the grumpiest of all grumps. His human form is Egyptian, and Baja just sounds fine as all get out, and he's a Spinosaurus, and I love the way that Mathematics does her dinosaurs. You can tell she is a dinosaur fan. It just makes me so happy. And I don't think she has a Stegosaurus, but if she ever returns to this series, I need a Stegosaurus main character because that's my dinosaur. But so they go on this cruise, they're trapped together, and Jackson is like this cowboy. His human form is Texan, and he's just like the sunshiny and just go with the flow guy. And then we have Grumpy Baja, and what Jackson is, I don't want to spoil it, but it is pretty freaking awesome. And of all the dinosaurs I was kind of expecting her to choose, I didn't expect this one. I was gobsmacked. But there's this really cute moment where they're kind of out and they're letting their dinosaur selves roam about, and they've been kind of having this banter and this tension between him, and Baja in dinosaur form catches a shark, and he takes it to where they're hanging out in these caves, and he like sets it down and he like nudges it, and Jackson in his dinosaur form is like, okay, yeah, I see you have a shark. I'm not gonna mess with it. That's your shark, okay. And then Baja keeps looking at him, and he's like trying to mentally talk to him even though he can't, but he's just like, I'm not touching your shark. And he like kind of leans back like, I don't want your shark. It smells good, but I don't want your shark. And then Baja kind of like nudges it and backs off, and he's like, and then Jackson's like, wait, is he courting me? Is he courting me with a shark? And it was just super cute. And I love them. This is my favorite of the series so far. And I feel like books 3 and 4 will have a tough time topping this one. The like forced proximity, both are apex predators, and this is my favorite so far, as you can tell as I'm gushing about it. So I loved it. And if you are a dinosaur nerd, a science nerd, whatever similar to me, and you haven't tried these out, I enjoyed the first one. This one was more my boat, but I liked it. I liked it a lot. As for reading challenges, like I mentioned, this works for Romanceopoly, so there is that. Then I have for Gildathon, I use this for Gold Rush, and that is a hyped book because I feel like at least the first book and a couple of these were kind of hyped back when they first came out. For Read the Season, I applied this to the letter S for holiday number 7. For Feels Like Summer, I applied this to a book that starts with the letter S. For the Ripped Bodice Summer Bingo, I use this for the two characters have the same job. Even though it's not exact, Jackson does get hired by Relic at the end of the series. But, I mean, overall, their goal is to hunt and find fossils. They're just claiming them for other people or for different types of people. But they're still like, their goal is to recollect fossils. For Once Upon a Readathon, I was able to use this for 200 points. So we get our 100 base points. We get 50 points for LGBTQ. And I'm considering this a water setting because most of this book takes place on a cruise ship. And while they aren't specifically in the water themselves, a cruise ship is out in the middle of the freaking ocean. So I'm counting it. And then for the 2023 Summer Musical Tour Reading Challenge, I use this for Andre Rieu's World Tour. And that is a book. One of the options for that is set in Western Europe. And where they make their landfall at a couple of points is at Lisbon. So they're in Portugal, which is Western Europe. So there is that. Then, I kind of was silly, and you saw something similar if you saw last week's vlog, but I wasn't quite sure where I wanted to go next for my list of 7 remaining books. So I did another, super janky, quick Romanceopoly roll, so I will pop that in here. Hello, apparently this is our new thing here. So this is a clip that's getting inserted. So Past Stacy is here. Hello. So this is early Sunday morning and I need to pick my next audiobook and my next physical book today. So I have a shorter list of audiobooks than physical books, but we're going to do potentially 1, if not 2 rolls to figure out what books I am going to pick up next. I have my notes here for Read the Season, for my remaining prompts. And as you just saw, I have finished Sleuth Street. I did read this book last night. So let's just get into it. I'm going to do it the easy peasy way again, just to kind of help save us, save me time and space of setting it all up. So I just grabbed 1d6 and we'll roll it twice. So 5 and 1. So that's 6. And we are on Sleuth Street here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that puts us on BFF's house, which we have already done. So that is a 3 and a 2, so 5 from BFF's house. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we are at Burger Joint Fantasy, or read a book with one of the main characters in the food industry. Well, so there you have it. My next Romanceopoly roll was Burger Joint. And I was super like, oh, none of these work. But then I looked at, and then I was like, okay, whatever. So I read that Saturday night. I read Sink or Swim Saturday night. So this was Sunday morning. I was trying to figure out what I wanted to read next. And I was like, well, you know what? I wanted to work on the craft room a little bit, and I had laundry to do. And I was like, I knew I had 3 audiobooks that I wanted to pick up. So I was like, okay, let me look at the audiobooks. And I don't know how I completely spaced this, but one of the audiobooks on my list worked perfectly for Burger Joint. And that is Under the Boardwalk. This is by Felice Stevens. This is the first book in her Landmarks series. And this is Alexei and Cam. And Alexei is... his parents or his grandparents were Russian immigrants. This is set on the boardwalk at Coney Island. And his his parents and like his uncle own this frozen custard shop. So he is one of the family members that works at this frozen custard shop, especially during the summer. He is still kind of finishing up his schooling. So he's kind of late 20s. I feel like he got a little, or not late. He's in his early 20s. So I feel like he's a little later than we would typically see. But for the past like summer or two, he's been crushing on the like grifter guy that sings at the boardwalk, and his name is Cam. And what's funny is we get some kind of mutual pining situations because Cam is super crushing on Alexi as well, and then they finally get the chance to meet, but they're both like kind of standoffish because they're not sure if like where the other person is. They just kind of think they're super cute, and then they kind of watch each other during different parts of the day when they're either busy or not busy. But they're both just like, I don't know if he's gay, I don't know. And then they finally meet, and it's like pretty quick. I was a little surprised at how quick they go from like 0 to 100 steam wise. And there was a point where I was working on the craft room and I was like, really? This is really quick. And then one of the characters, I think it was Cam, because he's slightly older, he's just a couple years older, says something like, oh my gosh, I've never given into my lust this quickly before. And I was like, well, at least we're calling it what it is. This is fall in lust, not fall in love. So I was like, all right. So I eventually gave this a 3.5 stars, and I did enjoy it. It definitely focused heavily on the steam between them. We also had some heartbreaking / touching moments with Alexi coming out to his parents about his sexuality. And then also we had some life issues that he also had to kind of deal with that he did at the same time, because he has always kind of been like, I want to travel the world, I want to visit different places, I don't want to be just stuck in Coney Island for the rest of my life. And his family has always been like, yeah, sure, yeah, you'll do it, sure, because none of them have ever felt that same sort of like wanderlust situation. And so he gets an opportunity to study abroad in London, and so he brings up that at the same time. So, I mean, I enjoyed it. It was definitely, if you're looking for a steamy novella, this was like 170-ish pages, I think. The audiobook was like 4-ish hours. I mean, definitely check it out. I checked this out from my local Hoopla. Yeah, and I thought it was really good. I just wanted a little bit more of the romantic establishment between them, and just a little more of the emotional building of the relationship, instead of so much, especially early on, like being so heavy into the physical, or even if they were super heavy into the physical right away, have then things kind of pause and draw back before we're physical again. And it just kind of was like full physical all the time. They couldn't stay away from each other, which is fine, but I just was missing a little bit more of that emotional connection. But at the same time, I do, give it some grace, because I know, especially when it comes to people who are in, situations where they're in the queer community, or have disabilities or something like that, that it's once you find somebody who you really connect with, I feel like things kind of normally, based on like my friends and family that I know that are in situations like that, I feel like their relationships got serious quicker, because it's harder to find someone who might be willing to enter into that sort of relationship with you, if that makes sense. But so I gave it a little bit of grace, but I still wanted more of the emotional connection between them. But I still thought it was super fun. So 3.5 stars. And 3 stars for me aren't bad at all. I might have rounded it up to 4 stars on Goodreads. I can't remember. But as for, so that works for Romanceopoly. So Burger Choint, if you're doing the normal genre prompts, this is fantasy, but the specific prompt, which is I'm doing, is read a book where one of the characters is in the food industry. So there is that. Then we have for Gildathon, I applied this to Rising Phoenix, which is a character that goes through a rebirth or transition. And we really get Alexi transitioning into being very open about who he is and his sexuality, just in life in general. For Read the Season, I applied this to holiday number 7 for the letter U. For Once Upon a Readathon, I was able to use this for 150 points. I couldn't tell if the author was LGBTQ or if she just writes romance, but I did apply extra 50 points for water setting because this almost all takes place on the boardwalk, and it's common for them to go walk along the beach under the boardwalk. So I'm counting that as a water setting. For the Ripped Bodice Summer Bingo, I'm applying this to long distance. This is a little cheesy of me, but I'm going to count it. Because when he studies abroad, we kind of get a time jump, but he's gone. But when he studies abroad, they are having a long distance relationship. We just kind of skip past it a little bit. But it's still there. It's still in the story. And it is a discussion that they have about if they're going to continue the relationship and have it long distance, or if they're just going to kind of leave things open and let things lay as they will. But so that's kind of why I decided to apply it. Then for the 2023 Summer Musical Tours, I applied this to the Red Hot Chili Peppers Australian Tour 2023, and I did not write down what the prompt I chose that for, and that would be this is in the back of my book. Red Hot Chili Peppers. Nope. This one. Read a book with a steamy storyline. And so this was definitely high on the steam. Okay. Then, so I only read 2, and I wanted to get through like 6 books this weekend, and I got through 2. But that's fine. So we will have to do a new Romanceopoly roll here in a moment. But today at work, I did start Wolf Signs by Vivian Arend. This is the first book in her Granite Lake Wolves series. This was another one of the audiobooks I had planned to check out. I have read Vivian Arend before, but I have read her like Rocky Mountain Cowboy series. So this is my first paranormal books from her. And this is pretty interesting. I'm 69% of the way through, 70% of the way through. This is Robin and Keel, and Robin is deaf, and she every year kind of has this plan with her brothers. This is set up north to go out into the Yukon wilderness, and they kind of do like skiing, snowshoeing at this cabin up there to kind of get away from society. And she is super excited to go out, and then her brother has to cancel because he gets a chance to do some like bush plane piloting that could potentially land him a really good job if he like does this volunteering situation and can make these connections. So she's like, it's fine, I'll go up by myself. It's no big deal. And he's of course worried because she is deaf, but she's just like, I know what to handle myself, and my deaf situation only really causes issues with other people, and I'm going out into the wilderness, which yes and no, but okay. And when she's there, she gets to the cabin fine, and then she runs into 2 men, Keel and TJ, and they are both werewolves, and they're like, you smell like a wolf. And so now they're trying to figure out who she is. She freaks out. They don't realize she's deaf, and it's this big whole thing. So we have fated mates between Keel and Robin, and I mean, I'm enjoying it. It's definitely quick. It's definitely fated mates. They've gotten touchy-feely, like they'll rub each other's arms and they just want to hug each other and be near each other. But we haven't quite gotten all the way yet, which I do kind of appreciate with these slower books. But so we'll see. I have less than an hour left in it, so I should be able to finish it tonight. So I'm going to stop there to try to keep this first clip under an hour. We still have 3 minutes. So I'm going to get things cleared off my coffee table, get my Romanceopoly board set up, and then we will do our rolls for moving forward. So I will be right back. Okay, so here we are. We are all mostly set up. I need these. Got to get our little cards. Okay, now we're set up. We got our cards. So let's just kind of get to it. So That is 9. Whoop. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So we are on Ever After Street. So let me just take a peek in here if we have done it or not. I don't know if we have. I want to say no, but I know we have. No, we have not. Okay, so it's like, what are we doing? Okay. All right. So Ever After Street. So our basic genre for this is LGBTQ plus. And like I've mentioned, I'm doing the specific prompts. So that is read a sapphic romance. So I don't have any on my finish the read the season TBR. And honestly, now that I think about it, I don't think I've read a sapphic romance. Like I've read one FFM, but not where it's just two women. So I might have to do some recommendations or do some research and see if there's any by authors that I trust and go from there. But yeah, I'm pretty excited to pick up my first sapphic romance. So, and now is the perfect time to hit it, right? Because we're still in Pride Month. But so this will definitely be something that I will be starting, not right away. Because my goal is still to read the season. So I already have my kind of planned books for the final prompts on that. So I'm just going to stick with those and I'm just going to pick them up kind of mood ready and see what I want to read next. And then after I finish that and we can start the new read the season, which starts on Wednesday, then I can just read a sapphic just for fun and I can really kind of pick through and decide which one I really want to read. So that's exciting. I'm pretty excited for that. I didn't mention before, today I did see that the new read the season was posted and that is for summer and we went from like 76 prompts to 102. I typically read more in the summer because it gets warm outside. And what do? Want to not go outside as much as possible. I'm not a warm person, a warm weather person. So we will have to see what happens. I would like to hit extreme, but we'll see how far I can do. And that will last for the next 3 months. So that will last us through mid-September. But yeah, I'm going to leave it at that. I will see you hopefully tomorrow on Tuesday, and I hope you have a great day on Tuesday. Hello, happy Tuesday. It is just after 10 o'clock. It's about 10:15, and I was going to get ready to get up and take a shower, and I was like, wait a second, hold on. I have to film my clip for tonight. So hopefully it won't be too long, but we have some books to talk about because I have been on like a novella binge the past like 24 hours. So let's do the quest calendar real quick and then we will move on. So where I last left you yesterday, we were going through the ship trying to find the like main shrieker parasite creature. Ooh, okay. He looks kind of like he's doing a kung fu move. He's just like, ooh. Okay. You found the shrieker that somehow made it onto the ship. It looks unlike any of the others you have encountered. It is clearly the queen responsible for the rampage and death of your passengers. I have saved all the passengers except for the one that we didn't have a chance to save. Excuse you. So see special combat instructions. Okay. So yeah, see special combat. Okay. Let us take a peek. Okay, so combat for today will operate in the following ways. For each round, you will roll an attack roll, an intellect, then roll damage. You will continue to compete. You will continue to repeat the combat round until you have dealt enough damage to defeat the enemy. So you will roll to determine your opponent's attack against you for each round, and you will roll to determine your opponent's damage against you for each round. Oh no, we are gonna take some damage. I'm not very happy about that, but we will just have to deal with it. Okay, okay, gotta get the marker out. Gotta make sure we're all good and set to go. Okay, so base stats. Our attack is a +6. Our damage is 2d12 plus 2. And then what else do we have to do? An intellect roll. And our intellect is a +1. So let's just get into it. So attack is first. Okay, that is a 17 plus 6. So 23 to hit. Okay, so we're going to need 17 or more. So that is perfect. Okay, so then we have to make an intellect roll, and we need to make a 10 or better to avoid becoming confused. And that's a 2. So we are confused. So that means we roll our damage twice, and if the smaller time is smaller than the first time, then we have to take that. So of course we hit it, but we are confused. So that is 9 and 6. Weird. Okay, so 15 on the dice, and that is another 9 and a 2. So 11. So we have to take this one. So 11 plus our +2. So 13 total damage. Okay, and so it looks like our goal is to hit 30 damage. So I'm going to just jot down a note that we have done 13 damage. Okay, so if you do not defeat your opponent, repeat the combat round until the opponent is defeated and you've... Oh, wait, okay, hold on. All right, so if the enemy is not defeated, it screeches at you, a painfully loud sound that scrambles your brain. Okay, so we have to roll our creature's attack. So this is a d20 plus 2. So 8, 9, 10. So our defense is a 16. Okay, so if your defense is more than your opponent's attack result, you take no damage. Great. Okay, so if you do not defeat your opponent, repeat the combat round until the opponent is defeated. And that means you've dealt a total of 30 damage or more. Okay, so on to round number 2. So attack roll first. And that is a 19. So we hit on the die because we need a 17 or more to hit. So I'm not going to worry about doing math, even though it's very simple math. I'm not going to worry about doing math in this moment. Okay, so now we need to make our intellect roll, and we need a 9 or better on the die because we have a +1, and that's a 4. My goodness, our second d20 roll is just not feeling it today. We just are not, we're too stressed out from the battle to think coherently and clearly. Okay, so that is a 9 and an 11. And then our second roll is an 11 and a 6. Okay, so we have to take the second one because that's the lower number. So that's 17 plus 2, so 19 damage. So what does that put us at? We were at 13. So that's at 29. Oh my gosh, hey look. We got 30. We got over 30. Hey look. I love it. I love it. Right? 9, 10, 11, 12. I'm doing simple math here. Yep, 32. Okay. I was like, oh my gosh, am I doing math correctly? It's after 10 o'clock. And I am already, sidebar, it was almost 90 degrees again today. Yesterday was the first day that we've really had it after, I mean, technically we had a high 80s day like back in April, but then things like calmed back to normal. I am already over this heat. I just cannot handle it. But anyway, back to this. So we have defeated the queen. because we have 30 or more damage. So once you defeat the queen, the parasite queen is tired and backs down, but is somehow still standing. You watch as the creature is regenerating and healing from its wounds. You will need to find another way to destroy this creature. They are sure dragging this parasite thing out, aren't they? Collect 7 credits for defeating the enemy. Well, it doesn't seem like we actually defeated it, but thank you. I will take those 7 credits, and I will add them to my character sheet. I am, as you can tell, in a mood. And I just dumped all of my paper notes all over the place, so... Okay, so we are now at 317 credits. We are just rolling in the sci-fi dough. Alright, so while I get this packed up here, let us talk about books. So last night I did finish the audiobook for Wolf Signs by Vivian Arend. And I'm going to give this 3.5 stars. I thought this was good. I thought this was fun. I thought it was an interesting introduction to this series. It seems like most of this series is going to be these like fated mate type situations. Like I mentioned yesterday, our heroine Robin is deaf. Where I kind of thought, where it didn't quite work as well for me, is... Like, I understood the fated mates, but outside of the whole fated mate situation, I just felt like we didn't need the whole drama of Keel, I think is how it said, trying to, like, this is his last little vacation before he's going to be one of the challengers to become the new alpha of his pack. I also thought it was kind of weird how they kept, like, they talked about wolves. And, you know, she was writing on a notepad and they were talking and she was able to read their lips. And after 2 different points where she's just like, why are you talking about wolves and mating? Like, this is a really weird conversation. We don't have wolves out here usually, kind of a situation. And after the second time this happened, they still were like, I can't believe she doesn't know. She smells like a full-blooded wolf and blah, blah, blah. And so I don't know. I just thought that whole situation was kind of funky. It just didn't, I don't know. It felt like too much was trying to be crammed in the pages that the story was allotted for. Overall, I enjoyed it, and what kind of made me bump it up to a 3.5 is because I did enjoy the specific moments between Keel and Robin. But then, you know, his brother is trying to give him some space to get frisky in the cabin and goes out skiing. And what happens? He gets trapped in an avalanche. So then they have to go and rescue them. And he's fine because, you know, when he's trapped as a human, but he's able to shift as a wolf and so he is a smaller creature inside a human-sized air bubble, and they are able to kind of save him. And this has happened before, so it's just like this weird situation. And then apparently her brother knew because her brother's a half wolf, and so there was just a lot of extra stuff kind of thrown in, and it just kind of took away from what was really kind of building between Keel and Robin. For me, I just wish it was more of a focus on them and, you know, her coming to terms that she not only is a werewolf, but a full-blooded werewolf. And, you know, the fact that something happened to her parents and she ended up being adopted. That's why she was never turned, because apparently you turn when you're an adolescent, but what like triggers it is the like hormones, I guess, that are in your mother's milk when you're fed as a baby. And she never had that. So it was just a little convoluted in some of the other plot things happening. So 3.5 stars. I'm definitely intrigued to read more in the series, though. Like I've mentioned yesterday, I have read her, I think it's like Rocky Mountain Ranch or something like that. It's one of her like really long running cowboy series. I've read quite a few of those. I want to say like 6 or 7 of them. And I enjoyed most of them. So I do know that I enjoy her writing. I just felt like there's too much in this tiny little novella than what it really kind of needed to be. I feel like sometimes authors try to put normal sized book stuff into a novella length book, and I'm like, you know, some of this we can just go through and we just need the quick notes versions, and let's just really kind of focus on the actual relationship between our couple, and quick notes the rest of the world. Like, I'm fine with that. I kind of expect that going into a novella. So I will move on. As for reading challenges, for Gildathon, I use this for Turn Up the Heat, which is read a romance. For Read the Season, I applied this to the letter G for holiday number 7, because the series name is Granite Shifter something. But granite is the first word in it, so it starts with a G. For Feels Like Summer, I use this for Read a Book with a Vacation, because technically Robin is going out to the cabin for like a week-long vacation. And yes, it's not to a beach, it's to the middle of the Yukon wilderness, but you know what? A vacation is still a vacation, no matter where you go. For Once Upon a Readathon, I use this for 100 points. I mean, technically, they're surrounded by snow in a frozen lake, and that is technically water. It's just frozen water, but I was like, that's not what they're going for, although I could be silly and count an extra 50 points for that for a water-based setting, but I'm pretty sure that's not what they meant by that. But if you have different thoughts, let me know, because this will be up before the end of the month, and I'll probably wait to submit all my reads until closer to the end of the month. But anyway, for the 2023 Summer Musical Tour Reading Challenge, I applied this to Arctic Monkeys World Tour 2023. This worked for a couple of the options. Animal on the cover. This version that I put up here might not have an animal on the cover, but I know one of them does have a wolf on the cover, or animal in the story, which it also counts in. But I specifically chose this one because the prompt is read a book set in a cold climate or month. So, I mean, technically it works for almost all of the prompts from this, but we will move on. So I finished that audiobook yesterday. Then today at work, I started, and then I had like 20-ish minutes when I got home. So while I was making dinner, I finished, but I picked up the audiobook Shift Out of Luck by Abigail Owen. This is the second book in her Brimstone Ink series. I read the first book of this, the Demigod Complex, I think is what it's now called, several years ago. And that was back when these were indie published. And the series was called Legendary Consultants, I think. Something like that. Or Karmic Consultants. No, I think this one was Legendary Consultants. And I really liked it. And don't ask me why I never came back to this series, but they have kind of gotten a facelift. The original ones were kind of the old style 2010s paranormal cartoon, like artwork, cartoony kind of artwork covers. Like I'm looking at my shelf, like Michelle Bardsley's and Kimberly Ray's Paranormals, and that there was also the oh my gosh, Dakota something, her books that I also read a lot of them. And they all have the same theme. But anyway, now they have been updated, and they are now released through Entangled. And I did see Abigail make a couple notes on some of them that they have been updated. There's some additional content. Some parts have been kind of rewritten and stuff. So I just kind of jumped into book 2 because I remembered when I read the blurb of book 1, I was like, okay, yeah, I remember this one because it was in Estes Park, which is super fun because Estes Park isn't that far away from me where I am in Colorado. I've been to Estes Park quite a few times. I was actually talking about it yesterday because I was talking about the candy shop, Sunny Jim's, on the way up to Estes Park when I was doing my fortune cookie set box unboxing. But anyway, so this is two shifters, and we actually see the wedding between them happen in the first book. But this is Merrick and Tala, and their two werewolf packs are, I mean, think like Hatfield McCoy's kind of situation. They just hate each other, and every generation hates each other even more. And they had reached out to this consultant, and she was like, for kind of third party help, and because both Merrick and Tala both have the mindset of, we need to end this feud, we need to stop this mindless killing between our packs. Who knows what the even original like bad blood came from. And so they are having an arranged marriage of convenience, or mating of convenience is what they call it throughout the book, which is super cute. And this one was really interesting because the prologue is them at the wedding and having that mating ceremony. And then the rest of the book is like them figuring out their roles together. It's kind of marriage in trouble, but at the same time it's marriage of convenience. And I had so much fun with this. I gave it 4.5 stars. There were a couple little things where I was just like, but overall, I really had so much fun with this. And I was like, why did I not read more in this series back then? I am a big fan of Abigail Owen. I haven't read much, but I've read a couple of some of her other dragon books, and I just forgot how much fun this series was. And all of them are in like the 4 to 5 hour range audiobooks. It's a 4-book series, so I definitely will probably plan on picking up the next couple books in the series. And there's a little teaser for this one for book 3, and it has a Scottish heroine, and the accent was really great. And I was just like, okay, I might just have to jump right in. But I had so much fun with this. So the big like conflict here, outside of them trying to merge their packs and there being tensions between them, is we also are dealing with a lot of issues where, you know, Merrick is used to being big alpha. He makes the decisions. And so he is kind of struggling, where to him, it seems like he just wants to take care of his mate, or he knows he's making the right choices and he knows that she will agree with these choices. But when they're around other pack members, it comes across as he's making the choices, and he doesn't even glance at her, gets like a nod of confirmation or an agreement or something. And so there's kind of tensions on her role, and she also has an alpha wolf. So not only is it bothering her and her wolf that he's kind of making her look weaker, then she ends up kind of getting challenged by people from her pack for alpha. And so, yeah, there's quite a bit going on her side. And the marriage of trouble portion comes into when she shifts into her wolf. Her wolf attacks Merrick, like tries to kill him. And he's just like, I don't know what I did wrong. And he's falling in love with her. And he's like, I don't know what I did wrong. And so, and Tala is also trying to figure out what she did, like what is causing her wolf issues, because yes, she's upset about some of these things. But they both feel that connection right away. Their mating ceremony that they have after their marriage, when they claim each other or when they have like get it on for the first time and he claims her, you could tell that there is a little bit of fated there, but they're kind of denying it, or they aren't realizing it. But he's definitely falling in love with her, and he's just so upset because he's trying so hard. And you know, there's times where like when she has to face these challengers, she's like, you cannot jump in, you cannot have a say, I have to be seen as the strong alpha I am. And he's like, but you're my mate. Like, I should be allowed to want to protect and take care of my mate. And it's hard for him to kind of realize what she needs to still keep the position in the pack, because things are still so kind of rocky. But I loved it. And then the whole reason her wolf was mad at him, I was like, oh my God. I was like, why did I didn't even like I kind of knew from the way that it kind of kept being brought up. I was like, it's gonna be something little, something kind of silly that just would have been easily remedied. But because the characters weren't even thinking of it, and I didn't even think of it at the time, but as soon as it like they finally figured it out in the epilogue, or maybe it was the last chapter of what was causing the wolf thing, because like they're happy and it's like 6 months later, but they still can't shift around each other. I was like, oh my God. And I totally heard it and I thought that it was kind of funky, but I was like, maybe that's just the thing in this situation with werewolves. So I just like threw it out of my brain and then it came back of what it was. And I don't want to spoil it in case you watch it, but I was just like, oh my gosh, duh. But yeah, 4.5 stars if you can tell my smile and my gushing of this. So we will try to move on here. I'm trying to move through things a little bit quicker, but you know, they're novellas plus, and the audiobook was fantastic. Fantastic. And I can't wait to read more. So for Gildathon, I use this for Hearth and Home, which is a book that gives you cozy feelings. For Read the Season, I applied this to the letter O for Owen, Abigail's last name, for holiday number 7. For the Ripped Bodice Summer Bingo, I applied this to a Relationship of Convenience. For Once Upon a Readathon, this gave me the base 100 points. For the 2023 Summer Musical Tour Reading Challenge, I used this for Def Leppard and Motley Crue, the World Tour 2023, and one of those options is second book in a series. So there's that. So I finished that when I was cooking dinner. So then, after I ate dinner, I was like, I gotta get through some books. So I have 3 books left to finish Read the Season. So I picked up Arden by Annabelle Rex. This is book 2.5 in her Intergalactic Soulmate series. I've read the first 6 books. I am a super fan of Annabelle Rex, and it's been a little bit. Like, once I got caught up, I haven't read any of her releases since. I don't know why I never picked up Arden, book 2.5, and I just forgot how much I love the coziness of her writing. If you haven't heard of the series before, this one is a little bit different, but in the universe, they have what's called Finding Your Match, and it's like a DNA-based test that tells you who, like, your true mate is, and whoever is in the situation kind of is brought to you, and you have to kind of meet and go from there. And it's like a thing to like go and get tested and find your perfect match. You can be matched interspecies, across species. For all of the main books in the series, it's a human woman that's getting matched with an alien, but this one is 2 alien creatures, and this is oh my gosh, I just blanked on her name, and I literally like finished reading this like an hour and a half ago. Alendi, I think, but she is the older sister and princess of her people, and book 3, I think, it's either the one right before this or the one right after this, is Kale, and that is her younger brother. And so we do see her and her mate Arden, or her match is what they call him here, Arden, in that book. And it's super great. And so it was fun to kind of go back and see their story. And this was super cute because she really struggles with being a princess. She doesn't really enjoy being a princess. She doesn't really see the way that her family kind of is figureheads and kind of an honor to the past. She just doesn't really agree with that. She would rather kind of focus on the future. She's not in, like, she has anxiety for sure. Especially I feel like social anxiety. And she runs away for 4 years once she comes of age. For my age tracking, I did supernatural because they talk about, like, in the universal standard age, when it's kind of acknowledged for races that are already like a part of this universal matching system, that when somebody becomes of age, they sign up and they take this thing. She is so stressed about it and so anxious about it that she ends up running away for like 4 years. And then her mother kind of finally tracks her down and she's like, "You're spiraling. You are not doing well. Come home." And then she convinces her to take the match and she gets matched with Arden. And Arden is like super serious, like super analytical. He's a data person. And he works for his family, like automated shipping company. And he just is very serious. He doesn't like people. He doesn't like situations. And of course, his family is like, "Oh my gosh, it's a princess." So they try to throw this big party. And she just, she has to put on her princess face and she really doesn't want to do it. And he's so awkward in social interactions and feels weird approaching her. So he ends up not talking to her. And then she gets kind of sad because he doesn't talk to her and he's supposed to be her like fated match. This book had me crying. And then it had me feeling happy, and I had to give it 5 stars. I had so much fun with this, and I definitely need to put Annabelle Rex back up near the top of my sci-fi romance authors, because I binged through the first 6 books in this series. I thought they were great fun. One of them has like alien style Olympics in it. And so I definitely need to read more Annabelle Rex. What's fun is the first 3 books are kind of in and of themselves. And then it's like 3, I was kind of looking and it looks like there's 9 books out now. There might be more, but at least for the first 6 books, it's like 3 friends and then they're kind of done. And then we have like 3 other people who are grouped together. So they're almost kind of 3 separate trilogies within the overarching series, or the overarching idea of having this matching system. So definitely feel like if you're burning out, like just do them in chunks of 3. They're definitely quicker reads, but I'm a big fan of Annabelle Rex and I cannot wait to read more from her. So I'm going to stop blabbering about her. For Gildathon, I use this through Fire and Flames, which is read a book in a series that you love and want to continue, and I definitely would like to get back into this series. For Read the Season, I applied this for the letter I. Like I mentioned, the series is Intergalactic Soulmates, and that was in holiday number 7. For Once Upon a Readathon, I used this for the base 100 points. And then for the 2023 Summer Musical Tours, I used this for Blink 182 Edging World Tour. So good, it's over in the blink of an eye. And it really felt like that. Okay, so right before I started filming this clip, I finished my second novella. And so I went with Look at Me by Ashley Mack. This is book 1.5 in her Senses novellas, or in her Senses series. And I read the first book a little bit ago, pretty soon after its debut. And now she has a lot more books in this series and novellas. She started another series and I'm just like, I'm so behind already. But I was excited to jump back into this world. The hero in this is Cade, who's like the right-hand man of Derek in the first book. So each novella kind of associates with the previous book. And this definitely kind of gives some teasers for the second book in the series, which I was super excited for. But then once it released, I never got around to reading it. So this is just kind of getting my excitement back up for book 2. But this was super great. So in the full book, we see a situation where Derek is kind of kidnapped and they end up going to a strip club, and there's a stripper there who ends up getting a favor at some point from Cade, and she has called in the favor because she is being stalked and sexually harassed and threatened by this creepy dude who's there at the strip club. He's now, stalking her, taking pictures of her in her apartment when she's naked, posting them online. At some point, he tried to steal her identity and sign up for things as her. And she's just she's done the right things. He's been blocked from the club where she works at. She's gone to the police, giving them all of this evidence. And the police are like, he technically hasn't done anything illegal yet. And I mean, that's not true. That's not true. Stealing somebody's identity is still a crime, but okay. Posting nude pictures of somebody, pictures that were taken without their consent, is still a crime. But anyway, so that was kind of a silly situation. But so she goes to Cade for help, and he has not been able to get her out of his mind for the past 4 months. He's not a person who really is into relationships. It's hard for him to let people close just because of his situation, his just experiences in life, plus his role in life, being in this somewhat criminal kind of underbelly world. And he just hasn't been able to get Kara out of his mind. And he moves her into the apartment. And it is the first time that somebody has been in his apartment that is not him. And they just finally act on their chemistry, and it just feels right. And this is an insta love that totally worked for me. I didn't mind it at all. I liked that we kind of had both of them super attracted to each other. They met them that once in this one like emotionally heightened situation, and they haven't been able to get each other off their minds for 4 months, and then they're finally coming together, and they're just like, okay. And with these life or death situations that they're kind of put into and are around, they're like, we're gonna jump on our happiness while we have it. And so it worked for me, and I really enjoyed this. I gave it 4 stars. I mean, the stalking situation with the police, I was like, I didn't like that the police were like, it's not anything illegal. And I'm like, technically the things that he's done is illegal, plus he sent things to her in the mail, and some of that is also illegal because you're not allowed to send things through the mail. But anyway, I gave it 4 stars because it was super fun. And it was a great, super steamy, quick novella. And it just got me, like I said, pumped to read more in this series. So, another quick review. But we will move on. As for reading challenges, for Gildathon, I use this for Turn Up the Heat, which once again is read a romance. For Read the Season, okay, so I applied this to the letter M in holiday number 5. However, that one was already claimed, so I had to move The Assassin and the Empire by Sarah J. Maas from M in holiday number 5 to T in holiday number 7. So that finished holiday number 7, and then I was able to put in this in M for holiday number 5. So I had to do a little bit of switching around. For Ripped Bodice Summer Bingo, I applied this to Makeover. And it's not really a makeover, but when they're getting her out of her apartment, someone comes over, they dress her up, they give her a makeover to make her look like not her, so they can get her out of her apartment and into Cade's, and just kind of help keep the guy from figuring out where she's being taken. So it's not a makeover in the typical sense, but she does like get a full-on makeover to get her safely out of her apartment. And since it's a pretty important point in the story of getting her to safety and getting her to Cade's apartment, I'm going to count it. For the Once Upon a Readathon, also for the base of 100 points. And then for 2023 Summer Musical Tour, I applied this to Zac Brown Band from the Fire Tour. And that is a book with a rating of over 4.0. And it's like 4.38 on Goodreads. But it has like 4 reviews or something crazy. But I was like, I'm counting it because it's over 4.0 when I read it. So there's that. Now, as you can tell from my little cheat sheet, we just have one more, L. And I originally was planning on reading a Vivienne Lorette book for that, but I'm not going to have time to read a Vivienne Lorette book tonight. So I have a couple of options. I'm going to get ready for bed. And then when I'm in bed, I'll see what I feel like. And I have, like I mentioned, I have a couple different options. So we'll see which one speaks to me. I have one that I really, really want to pick up, but it's like 225 pages, which is a little long to read tonight because we're kind of getting close to 11 o'clock at this point. But that's what I really, really want to read. So we'll see, but you will find out tomorrow and I will update you. But no matter what, I'm finishing a book tonight that has to do with the letter L, and I will read the season Extreme. And I don't know if I'm going to push myself to finish the Extreme version in summer because it's gone from 76 to 102 prompts. But my reading might pick up, so who knows? Who knows? I also only have 4 Hoopla checkouts left for this month. Or I had 4 before I checked out Shift Out of Luck or something. But I'm doing really good on my Hoopla checkouts. And I might actually run out this month. Which then I'll have to look at audiobooks on Libby. For me, my library system has a lot better options on Hoopla. But I do have some audiobooks and stuff saved on Libby. It's just every time I go to look for something on Libby, it's usually not there. And it's usually on Hoopla. And if it's not, it's, and I have requested, I can't tell you how many freaking books on Libby, and they have never purchased any of them. So I guess they just don't really care about romance that much, but it's okay. Or I'm just picking really obscure indie authors that don't have KU. But anyway, I'm going to stop rambling. Another long clip, but less longer than yesterday. So have a good hump day. Tomorrow is already Wednesday. And yeah, hopefully I will see you tomorrow. Hello. Happy Friday. Yeah. Things have just been super crazy. Kind of ish. Not really. There's been quite a bit storm chasing happening, and in my neck of the woods these past couple days, down in Highlands Ranch, there was a tornado that went through. Today they were doing storm chasing up in Wyoming. So I've been doing that, and then Wednesday night and Thursday night, I hadn't started my June digital journal spreads, or even been like updating some of the little templates I have on what books I read during the month that I can use at the end of the month, kind of a thing. And for my wrap-ups, I hadn't done any of that. So I was like, I need to get some of this done and get it like halfway through the month, although at that point we're already at the 20th, you know? So I was like, I gotta get some of this at least started so that when it comes to the end of the month, I'm not having to spend near as much time putting together like my wrap-up information. So it was just a little stressful. Just knowing I had to get that stuff done and that like time was running out. So I was like, we're going to buckle down. I don't have any like specific deadlines that are coming up around the corner for books. So I was like, we're just going to do it. So that's what I did Wednesday night, pretty much all night. Until I went to bed. And then I did the same last night. But last night I was working on some of my July TBR list. And also a video that's coming out soon is going to be the Q3 new releases, because we're already at the end of June almost. So I was just like, oh my gosh, all of this stuff is coming up. And then I'll want to do sometime in July a flip through for both the first half of the year and Q3 or Q2 of my digital reading journal. So it's just like a lot. So I was just like, oh my gosh, things are super crazy. And tomorrow on Saturday, at some point, the plan is to go over to my sister's apartment, I believe, and hang out and play games for most of the day is what I'm guessing. So I will be losing one of my weekend days to do things. So let's talk about books first, and then we will end with the quest calendar. So Wednesday night, I did finish my last read the season prompt for read the season spring, and I decided to pick up Capturing the Silken Thief by Jeannie Lin. Like I mentioned recently, I read the prequel novella for her Tang Dynasty series, and that was included in like a little Harlequin novella bind up of 5 different novellas by Jeannie Lin, and I still had it checked out from Hoopla, so I was like, okay, let me read another one that's not in the middle of a series that I'm not quite to yet. So this one is the prequel novella to the Ping Kong Lee Mysteries, which is the Red Lotus Palace is like the first one, which we read for Rake Appreciation Society not too long ago. So this was pretty interesting. This, we didn't really see, outside of like it being in the same like area of the like red light district, basically. It didn't really have much to do with really anything else that was going on. However, it's been a while since I've read the Red Lotus Palace, but there is a scene where I think it's near the end of one of the books where somebody sees artwork on one of the pleasure houses and like poems, and they're like, oh, it came from this famous I can't remember if they called her a concubine or not, but from her famous like book. And in this prequel novella, that book has gone missing from the owner, and he is putting out a very high reward to recover this book. And he was this like famous courtesan's lover, and like they had a really deep kind of connection. So our heroine, of which I'm completely blanking on names. I keep wanting to say Maylin, but that is the other one. In this one, while I look up her name here, she is a musician. So she's with one of the like kind of troops, and she plays the Pippa. Gia. That's right. Her name is Gia, because I thought that was super funny because I'm a fan of the K-pop group Miss A, which doesn't really do things anymore. And it was 2 Chinese members and 2 Korean members, and one of the Chinese members was Gia. So that made me think of her. So how could I forget that? But so she is hoping to recover this book, and then that way she can pay off the debts that she has to the troop master and kind of feel a little more free, because she knows that while she's under the debts of this troop master, if he doesn't have any use for her anymore as a musician, that she is not pretty enough or refined enough to be like a concubine that kind of makes decent money and is in a better situation. She is like very clear about how she'd just be some kind of low level whore and not in a good situation. So she's hoping to find this book, and there are kind of guesses that a scholar stole the book when they were visiting the Red Lotus Palace, and because that's where it was stolen from. So she kind of has some of her troop people help rob this guy and steal his basically a backpack of books while he's headed home. And they end up stealing books from Lo Cheng, who is not the scholar who stole this special book, the like poem, courtesan poem book. But he has similar features, so they think it's him. So then they team up, and so Gia finds out that he's not the actual thief, but he has an idea of who among his fellow scholars who are still trying to take the big examination to get an appointment and a job of some sort, he kind of helps her sneak into to steal this book back, and it is their romance. I gave this 3.5 stars, but I don't know, I might up it to 4 stars because I definitely enjoyed it a little bit more than the other one. This one though felt, I don't know in the time frame where this one was written, but this one almost at times had too modern a vocabulary, which I know might be something that she was trying to do to kind of keep specifically like American or English speaking readers on board, because I feel like ancient Chinese history in that type of setting isn't common. It might be kind of hard to understand for the average English speaking reader. But it just felt a little overly too modern to me. But because I have taken a lot of Asian history and seen a lot of Asian historical dramas and documentaries and like things like that, and it felt almost a little too jarring for me, which is why it wasn't quite a 4.5 star. So I think I might up it to 4 or round it up to 4 on Goodreads. But I definitely enjoyed it better than the Tang Dynasty prequel novella. But I mean, yeah, 3.5 isn't, for a lot of people, isn't a good rating, but for me, that's still something that I enjoyed. And I did overall enjoy these. I just feel like sometimes I'm a little more stricter with novellas, but I'm going to leave it at that. I really enjoyed it. And I am definitely excited to read more from Jeannie Lin, but I don't know which route I'm going to go. She also kind of has like this steampunk historical series I didn't know that's also happening. So maybe I'll try that one too and see if that one might grab my interest the most. But I don't know. We'll see where I go with her next. But I will be going back to Jeannie Lin. In the anthology that I still have checked out from Hoopla, the other two is novella 2.5 and 3.5 in the Tang Dynasty. So I probably won't pick those up while I have this anthology checked out, just because I would at least want to read book 2 and 3 before getting into those, either in order or after I have finished through the third book. But there is another novella in there that I think is standalone, so I might try to read that one as well before it gets returned. But I'll have to do some research into that final novella. But as for reading challenges, for Gildathon, I applied this to the musical prompt because, like I said, our heroine is a musician. For Read the Season, I used this for holiday number 5 and the letter L, which means I officially finished Read the Season Spring Maltese Edition Extreme Level, which is great. And that was 76 books, which a couple of years ago wouldn't have been that hard for me, but my reading has definitely kind of slowed down a lot lately compared to what it used to be. I'll throw that caveat in there. But it was super excited that I got extreme level, so I can at least say, even if I don't hit extreme level for any of the other Read the Seasons moving forward, I at least did it once. I still don't know if I'm going to hit it for summer. We'll have to see what happens there. But for Once Upon a Readathon, this worked for the base 100 points for reading a book. For 2023 Summer Musical Tour, I use this for Journey the Freedom Tour for a character who gains a freedom of some kind. And because it's a romance and we have an AGA, she does get away from her troop and under the thumb of that debt. So I won't tell you how, but she does get her freedom in that way. And then I totally forgot to mention, but level 1 for Summer Musical Tour is read 5 to 10 books. And this was my 10th book. So the next book I read will put me into level 2. So that's great as well. So we are just trucking along on that one super quickly, which is why I added a billion freaking bonus prompts to use. So as for what I'm planning on reading next, I have not, like I mentioned, I have not read anything since Wednesday night. I thought about trying to pick up an audiobook at work the past 2 days, but it's like when I was thinking about it, then we'd get really busy. But then I would just throw on a podcast or music. And then when it was a little bit slow, I was really into what I was listening to already. So I didn't really think to change it. But I have been wanting to pick up Magic Claims for the past few days. So if I'm not up too much later tonight, it's already after 9:30. I definitely want to start this tonight. I don't know if the live show for the Alona Andrew read along is going to happen, and plus I just want to get it done because it's a new release and I've been so hyped. This is one of my most unexpectedly anticipated books of the summer. So, and I say unanticipated because they haven't been announcing things super far in advance. Although this one we had definitely had a longer wait time from announcement compared to the first Wilmington Years book. But anyway, I cannot wait to read this. So I just need to go to bed or sit down and relax for the rest of my evening when I'm not like bone tired. So hopefully I will get to that this weekend. So yeah, that's all I really have for you. So let's do the quest calendar. We have 3 days, Wednesday, Thursday, and today, to get taken care of. So where I last left you, we were in battle with the parent head shrieker creature thing. So let's see what happens next. Oh, okay. I can't tell if it's the same one or if it's another freaking creature. If you can't kill this creature, you need to get it off the ship. Perhaps you can get it into the airlock and jettison the pest. Okay? So 1A is shove the creature into the airlock, and 1B is lure the creature into the airlock. So that's strength versus charisma. We're going to probably try the charisma route here. And then B, vent the airlock. So turning it on and all that good stuff. So let us move on. Okay, so number 2, vent the airlock. Or no. Okay. So 1B. Okay, so it doesn't matter. There's only one option for both, depending on what you roll. It's just choosing what's going on. So 1B is lure the creature into the airlock. So charisma, reminder, animal tamer. So we do have animal tamer, and our charisma is a +1. So we get a total of +3 to our rolls. So let me move things around here, and I will put my dice rolling tray here. Okay, so you will need to get 5 successes to get the shrieker into the right location. Repeat your roll until you get those 5 successes. Once you get them, move on to vent the airlock. Okay, so once again, we have a +3. Okay, and that is a 13, so 16 total. The creature gets a bit further towards the airlock. Add 1 success. Okay, we're at 1. Roll number 2 is a 17, so that's 20. So same between 16 and 20. Okay, so we needed an 18 or more to get a really good result. But we are at 2 successes. Roll 3 is a 13 once again, so that's 16 total. So same thing, 1 success. 18. Hey, look at that. So that makes it 21. So what is the 21 option? If the result is 21 or more, the creature makes it further toward the airlock. Add 2 successes. So that puts us at 5 total. Great. I don't know why I said it that weird, but okay. We'll just move on and just pretend. All right, that didn't come out of my mouth. So, vent the airlock. Due to safety issues, this isn't as easy as pressing the right button. There is a series of controls and knobs to get in the right order. Meanwhile, the creature continues emitting a painful sound that causes your eardrums to bleed. Wonderful. Okay. So, intellect, reminder, engineering. We do not have engineering. And our intellect is a +1. So, natural 20. Okay. So 21. If the result is 15 or more, you ignore the screaming and follow all the steps without error. You engage the inner door lock, release the outer seal, check the safety, pull the lever, and vent the airlock. You hear the immediate rush of pressure as everything in the chamber, including the creature, gets pushed out into space. Sweet. Okay, so that's fun. That's done. It's been so hot. I've made another batch of iced tea, and this time I did a green tea with citrus. It's been so good. I've been like just drinking that constantly. But anyway, bye-bye, little guy. Or not so little guy. Okay, so it looks like we're in the med bay now. So this will be Thursday, yesterday's. Many have reported being ill. They are being treated in the medical labs. Thankfully, Dr. Latimer and Dr. Serpent have enough medical experience to help. They can use your help. So 1, what do you know about medical science? 2, help scientists cure the other passengers. And 3, collect your reward. Okay. All right. Okay, so 1, what do you know about medical science? Intellect, reminder, student. And we do have student. And once again, our intellect is a +1. So that is a 14. So 17 total. Okay. You have, so 15 or more, you have extensive experience and will be quite useful. Gain a +4 bonus to help the scientists. Nice. So 2, help the scientists cure the other passengers. So wisdom, reminder, survivalist. So we do have survivalist. Our wisdom is a +4. So that's +6. Plus our bonus +4. So we're at a +10 for this roll. Nice. And that is a 7. But that puts us at 17. So, and the best result is 15 or more. So we are still fine. Okay, you were quite talented and followed the scientist's instructions well. You saved 2 more people. Note that you have saved 2 passengers. Sweet. Okay, so that puts us at 9 passengers. So collect your reward. You check on everyone to see how they are doing. It is sad what these people have gone through. First, they lost their home on Nick Station when the star went supernova, and now this. The passengers you saved are thankful and shower you with rewards. If you saved 9 passengers, gain 37 credits. Wow. So we hit the max. Nice. That's a lot of credits. I'm going to jot that down here real quick. So we probably don't need our passenger list note anymore, so I can erase that. And we can use that for other things. 37 credits. Holy moly. So we're at 340. So 354. 354 credits. We need stuff to buy. That's been more the problem versus actually getting credits. Okay. So that was fun. All right, so we saved people. I would like to see it. Okay, so let's see what today's is. Oh, okay, so it looks like more sciencey medical stuff. Dr. Latimer and Dr. Serpent are running tests on everyone to make sure there's no one else infected with a parasite. It's time to run your test. No. Okay, so test your sample. 2, discuss the next destination with the scientists. Okay, I'm guessing we should be okay. And 3, discuss Maddox with the scientists. Okay. All right, well, here we go. test your sample is a Constitution roll, which is a +1. And that is a 19, so 20. If the result is 15 or more, the test results provide no evidence of a parasite inside your body. Surprising. Okay, so number 2, discuss the next destination with the scientists. We believe you discovered a key clue about where we should go next. You reminded us about the mural on the wall back in the lab. It was of the city Vix on the planet Abramia. We primarily worked with Andy there and believe that might be where Andy went after she escaped the lab. Oh, that's right. Andy's kidnapped. What are we going to do with all these passengers, too, that we saved from that supernova? Like, are we just going to tote them around with our quests for the rest of the year? Like, can we not stop somewhere and let them off to, like, resume living their lives and try to find, like, a new home? That's a little weird. But, okay, this is just a straight wisdom roll. So that is a +4. And that is a 16. So 20 again, that's weird. Okay. If the result is 15 or more, the situation doesn't feel right. The scientists know more and aren't telling you everything. Why would Andy go to Vix on Abramia? Why wouldn't she just return to her home? What was their real relationship with Andy? Alrighty. Okay, on to number 3. Discuss Maddox with the scientists. So wisdom roll. Oh, wait, hold on. We have text first. You press on to find out more about the health of the crew and talk further with Dr. Latimer and Dr. Servant about Maddox. They seem hesitant to reveal what they found, but you insist. We have been checking everyone on the ship to make sure they do not have a parasite. We found some odd results as we looked closer at Maddox's samples. It might explain why he wasn't responding to standard medkits earlier. He might be infected with a mechanical virus. His body or this virus was attacking the medications as a foreign entity. They invite you to look into the microscope. Okay. So wisdom roll, reminder, arcane adept, and engineering. So we do have arcane adept. And once again, our wisdom is a 4. So we get a +6 to this. And that is, I can't see it under my book, a 16. So 22 total. If the result is 15 or more, the cells look normal in structure. However, they are composed not only of biological tissue, but include mechanical microorganisms, unlike anything ever seen in robotics or living tissue. There is no sign of destructive damage caused by a virus. In addition, the structures seem to afford the cell with an enhanced connection to metaphysical properties. So, if you are new here, I'm getting an idea of what all this is because in the prologue, which is like the short mini section in the beginning where you learn how to play the game, we play as the character that's just kind of given it to us to learn the basics before we like pick the character that we play throughout the rest of the game. And we played as Andy when she was first developed. And she is like an AI nano microorganism robotic weird thing. So interesting. And that means that her son is actually her son in some way. Like by blood-ish. Interesting. Okay. I'm intrigued. That's fun. That's really fun. Okay. I think that's it. I think that's all I have for you. And she says that she would like to go to bed. So I'm going to wrap up this week. I hope you had a great week. I hope if you were in any of the area affected by these crazy freaking storms that are hitting the high plains, I hope you are safe and your family is safe. And yeah, definitely keep an eye out. Even though we're hitting summer months, there's still some like crazy storms that are hitting. And it's really weird. It's really weird that the storm chasing season is going on this late before they're kind of switching over to a different type of storm chase. So, it's just crazy. The one that we watched today, there was 4 or 5 different tornadoes out of this one storm in Wyoming, and that's just bonkers. It's absolutely bonkers. So I hope you're staying safe. If you'd like to leave me a comment down below, let me know what you're hoping to read in the last little bit of June. I have a mini DBR that I need to get through, but I'm also kind of putting off what I can till 4th of July weekend, because with it being on a Tuesday, I will get Monday and Tuesday off. So we'll get a 4-day weekend, which is super fun. So I'm like hoping I can read a bunch during that weekend, but with it also being a holiday weekend, I'm sure we're going to have plans, but I'm also like, I have a lot of house stuff I could work on, like some of these empty boxes, although I'm hoping to break down some of those this weekend. But yeah, there's just a lot going on. So let me know what you're planning for the end of June, beginning of July, whatever's going on. If you'd like to just leave me an emoji, leave me something summer related, because we're getting into hot weather here in Colorado. But otherwise, don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you all soon with another video.